Hey guys, and welcome in our studio, we normally say, but of course this is not our studio. This is the place where I scan my images, and today I just want to give you a quick heads up about the BenQ monitors and the auto calibration. Now, we get a lot of questions about calibration. And calibration, of course, is one of the most important things in your workflow. You want to make sure that the colors that you see in real life or products are exactly the same on print or, of course, online. But also when you are very creative and you go like, hey, I want to play with colors, you want to make sure that the mess that you see on your screen is the same mess that somebody else sees, of course. Otherwise you get really weird, funky colors maybe. So calibration gives you your base. And also, of course, when scanning, it's important to calibrate. And when you scan, there's more stuff important, of course, gloves, because film is very fragile, and of course, a film material. But today it's about the calibration. Now, when you normally calibrate a monitor, it's really important that you choose a monitor that has hardware calibration, because that gives you the best results. But you still have to do the calibration. Now, with the BenQ monitors, you have great software called Palette Master. It goes really fast and you can use most professional analyzers. But what if you think like, hey, all that stuff, you have to put an analyzer in front of your screen and maybe I forget? Well, this is the solution. This is an auto-calibratable monitor. So what does that mean? It means that it has a calibrator built in. And that means also that the calibration process is, of course, built in the monitor. Now, this is huge because the first thing that you will mention is, hey, but what is the difference between just placing an analyzer in front of your monitor, starting up software, and just pressing a button and it's done? You're absolutely right. The thing is, however, when do you calibrate? You always have to warm up your monitor half an hour, right? So in most cases, people go, I will do it tomorrow. Or they just forget, or they're busy working. Oh yeah, I had to calibrate. And before you know it, there's this message on your screen, and you just click it away, and you click it away again, and you never have a calibrated monitor. The nice thing about this monitor is that you can also schedule the calibration. Yes, you heard it correctly. I can say, okay, tonight at 1 o'clock, just start up the monitor, calibrate the monitor, and just shut it down again. That's a huge advantage. And of course, there's much more. It has the one cable connection, so that means my laptop is connected with one USB-C cable to the monitor and everything else is connected to the monitor. That's a huge saving clutter on my desk. And of course, what if the built-in calibrator isn't accurate anymore? We all know that after a few years, the panel starts to drift, your calibrator starts to drift, and well, you don't have a perfect calibration anymore. And those monitors you don't buy for 2 years, of course. The cool thing about what BenQ thought of, and this is why I love BenQ, they have color in their DNA, I always say. You can also still calibrate a monitor with Palette Master. You can still do the hardware calibration on the monitor with Palette Master. And of course, you can use whatever calibrator you want. In my case, I'm using the calibrate calibrators. And the best thing is, if you want to use the internal calibrator and you don't trust it after 2 or 3 years anymore, you can train the internal calibrator. And that's a huge thing, because that means you don't invest in a monitor that you can only use 100% accurate for 1, maybe 2 or maybe 3 years. You invest in something that you can use for a long time. Because if the calibrator drifts and your panel drifts, you just train the calibrator again and you're up. So that's great. So now let's take a look at how easy it is to calibrate the monitor. As you can see, it's really easy. You just go to the menu and you go for your calibration. And the only thing you have to do is, well, yes. And there we go. Auto calibration is scheduled in 30 seconds. Let's just pray yes. Calibrator comes down. So there we have the calibrator. Now, as you can see behind me, the calibration is in process. It goes really fast. And the thing that I like about the BenQ is actually that the calibrator is a little bit longer than normally. Now, on the top of the display, I always am afraid that there's a little bit of a color variation. If you have a longer calibrator, it will be fine. As you can see here, this will work fine. Now, if you are a little bit hesitant, like, hey, I don't want to use a built-in calibrator, maybe after 2 years it will deviate too much, don't worry. These kinds of monitors still have hardware calibration, so you can still use Palette Master with your own color analyzer. You can even train them with each other, so you can still use your internal calibrator even after 3, 4, 5 or 10 years. It's a great solution. I really like it, especially because you don't have to think about it. You just schedule it for in the middle of the night, and every time you start up your computer, no problems. The only thing you have to take into account is, of course, even if your monitor is calibrated, you still have to wait at least 30 minutes before you do some serious work, because a monitor has to warm up. And that goes for the calibration, but also before you do your important job. So I'm going to wait for the calibration, and then I'm going to put on my gloves and I'm going to do some scanning. See you again next time. Bye, guys.